Hello, book lovers and English learners. Welcome to our January and February live read along. I'm Lydie Bureau. I'm an English teacher in France and also the founder of Lydia's Book Club, a book club for learners of English. In this book club, I host live readings and discussion workshops on adaptations of classics of literature and contemporary novels in their original text. I also tend to prioritize books that are written by women. Each month we read and explore a different book for all levels of English. And each week I host several live reading sessions on Instagram and Zoom for free. So if you want to be able to attend these live readings, you just need to subscribe to the newsletter and get your free link. Also, 3 times a month, I meet with the members of the book club in a live discussion workshop via Zoom to discuss the chapters read over the week. This way, members can improve their speaking and critical thinking skills and be part of a community of book lovers, share their thoughts, and bring the book to life in a way. And also, the privilege of becoming of being a member is that you can decide on the next book to read. So for the next 2 months, we've already started reading this book. So it's been now a month and a half that we have been reading, that we are, yeah, that we are reading this original text, which is a contemporary novel, sorry. It's called It Ends With Us, and it was written by Colleen Hoover. She's an American author, and this book was published in 2016. If you want to know more about the novel and Colleen Hoover's work, I invite you to listen to the podcast episode 29 of the podcast of the book club, of course. The podcast is called Read in English, and you just need to look for episode 29. And this podcast is available on YouTube and on Spotify. Today is live read along session 13, and we're going to read chapters 19 and 20. And this Saturday, I will host our fifth live workshop to talk about chapters 17 to 22. So if you want to attend this workshop, you just need to subscribe to the book club at lydiasbookclub.com, or you just click on the link in the description. And that's it. Honestly, joining the live discussion workshop is really the best way for you to improve your speaking skills, but also your reading skills. Because I'll be asking you questions about the book and ask you to reflect on it. So it's a great opportunity, really, to develop your English and your ability to reflect on a book, definitely. Right. So before I get started with the reading of the chapter 19, I'm going to do a quick recap of chapters 17 and 18. So chapter 17 is the last chapter of part 1 of the book. So in this chapter, we read the last entry that Lily wrote in her journal, the series of letters that she wrote for Ellen DeGeneres, because she was a fan of the show when she was young. And this chapter is the recollection, of the events that happened in when she was young with Atlas. So Lily is reading her last letter to Ellen, and we learn that actually Atlas revealed Lily that actually the first time that well, yeah, the first time he went to the abandoned house that lives next to Lily's house, it was actually to kill himself. He wanted to end his life, and it's when he saw the light in Lily's bedroom that just came like a sign to him that he shouldn't give up on life. And I really liked that quote. You saved my life, Lily, he said to me, and you weren't even trying. And that's so beautiful, the impact that someone can have to other people without knowing it. I'm sure that you hear people when you hear people saying, oh, about an artist, for example, a singer, songwriter, or um, or maybe actors, but it's usually with music that I can read comments sometimes on online where people say to their favorite artists that they saved their life with this song. This song saved their lives because they couldn't bear continuing living this condition, and this song saved their life. And we often say that music is like medicine, and we could say the same with books. Books are words can heal. They, as much as they can hurt as well. So um, this is the whole beauty, and this kind of books can definitely heal or save the lives of women. Um, and I find it so powerful because even not even we don't necessarily realize the impact that we can have on on people by doing just our job, for example, or by creating something that we're passionate about. And that's the beauty of art and literature. So, yeah, I found that passage so powerful and so meaningful as well. And yeah, and and I'm sure that people can definitely relate to that feeling, to Atlas's feeling. Um, and then at the end of the letter, we learn that when Atlas left the town where I can't remember the name of the town, but he left the house, and he went to move in with his uncle in Boston, and then uh, yes, and then he came back a month and a half, something like that. Yeah, a month and a half later to meet his to see again to go back to see Lily, and so he was in her bedroom, and because she wasn't expecting him, she forgot to lock the door, and her father heard Lily talking with someone, and he barged into the room, and he saw Atlas and beat him really hard with a baseball bat, and that was terrible. She was um, screaming. So Lily was screaming uh, to her father, at her father, saying that to stop, and he really bit hard. Atlas. He was covered in blood, and they had to call the ambulance. Eventually, she learned that Atlas was fine. He was okay, but that episode really hurt and traumatized Lily, and she decided to stop writing in her. This is why she took the decision to stop writing in her journal, so that she wouldn't have to remind mind herself about Atlas and relive those memories. So she stopped writing in her journal from this point. And and yeah, and chapter 18 is the first chapter of part 2 of the book. And in this chapter, um, I find it a very pivotal, as a pivotal chapter here in the story, in the relationship between Ryle and Lily, because in this chapter, their relationship take go to another level, because, or move forward really fast, because really Ryle and Lily really Ryle and Lily decide to get married to Vegas, which I don't find really romantic, to be honest. But it seems like Lily doesn't mind, because Eliza says to her, well, don't you? Lily is a girl. She wants a real wedding with flowers and bridesmaids and shit. So the whole romantic stuff. But when Ryle asks Lily if she really wants if she wants a real wedding, she says that no, actually, she doesn't want to have that necessarily. So I guess that's settled for them, right? So let's now read what comes afterwards. Right. Chapter 9. It's been 6 weeks. Oh, okay. It's been 6 weeks, Mom. You gotta get over it. My mother sighs into the phone. You're my only daughter. I can't help it if I've been dreaming about your wedding for your whole life. She still hasn't forgiven me, even though she was there. We called her right before Eliza booked our flights. We forced her out of bed. We forced Ryan's parents out of bed. And then we forced them all on a midnight flight to Vegas. She didn't try to talk me out of it, because I'm sure she could tell that Ryan and I had made up our minds by the time she made it to the airport. But she hasn't let me forget. She hasn't let me forget it. She's been dreaming of a huge wedding and dress shopping and cake tasting since the day I was born. I kicked my feet up on the couch. How about I make it up to you? I say to her. Whenever we decide to have a baby, I promise to do it the natural way and not buy one in Vegas. Oh, she's making fun of her here. My mom laughs. Then she sighs. As long as you give me grandchildren someday, I guess I can get over it. Riley and I talked about kids on the flight to Vegas. I wanted to make sure that possibility was open for discussion in our future before I made a commitment to spend the rest of my life with him. He said it was definitely open for discussion. Then we cleared the air about a lot of other things that might cause problems down the road. I told him I wanted separate I told him I wanted separate checking accounts. But since he makes more money than me, he has to buy me lots of presents all the time to keep me happy. He agreed. He made me promise him I'd never become vegan. That was a simple promise. I love cheese too much. I told him we had to start some kind of charity or at least donate to the ones Marshall and Eliza like. He said he already does, and that made me want to marry him even more, even sooner. He made me promise to vote. He said I was allowed to vote Democratic, Republican, or Independent as long as I made sure to vote. We shook on it. By the time we landed in Vegas, we were completely on the same page. I hear the front door unlocking, so I flip onto my back. Gotta go, I said to my mother. Ryan just got home. He closes the door behind him, and then I grind and say, Wait, let me rephrase that, Mom. My husband just got home. My mother laughs and tells me goodbye. I hang up with her and toss my phone aside. I bring my arm up above my head and rest it lazily against the arm of the couch. Then I prop my leg over the back of it, letting my skirt slide down my thighs and pull at my waist. Ryle drags his eyes up my body, grinding as he makes his way over to me. He drops to his knees on the couch and slowly crawls up my body. How's my wife? He whispers, planting kisses all around my mouth. He presses himself between my legs, and I let my head fall back as he kisses down my neck. This is the life. We both work almost every day. He works twice as many hours as I do, and he only gets home before I'm in bed 2 or 3 nights a week. But the nights we actually do get to spend together, I tend to want him to spend those nights buried deep inside me. He doesn't complain. He finds a spot on my neck and he claims it, kissing it so hard it hurts. Ouch! He lowers himself on top of me and mutes into my neck. I'm giving you a hikey. A hikey. Don't move. So a hikey is when you suck here the skin of someone. It's usually something you do as teenagers. Um, yeah, it's as adults, it's not something, and then it makes them, the thing is, because you suck the skin here, it makes a mark afterwards, like a bruise. So then people have to hide because it's very teenagey kind of stuff. So his lips remain in the same spot, sucking and kissing until I can no longer feel the sting. He is pressed against me, bulging against his scrubs. I move my hands and shove his scrubs down far enough so that he can slide inside of me. He continues kissing my neck as he takes me right there on the couch. So very steamy scene, very spicy here again. He took a shower first, and as soon as he got out, I jumped in. I told him we needed to wash the smell of sex off of us before we had dinner with Eliza and Marshall. Eliza is due in a few weeks, so she's forcing as much couple time on us as she can. She's worried we'll stop coming to visit after the baby is born, which I know is ridiculous. The visits will just grow more frequent. I already love my niece more than any of them anyway. Okay, maybe not, but it's close. I try to avoid getting my hair wet as I rinse off. because we are already running late. I grab my razor and press it under my arm when I hear a crash. I pause. Ryle? Nothing. I finish shaving and then wash the soap off. Another crash. What in the world is going on? I turn off the water, and grab a towel, running it over myself. Ryle! He still doesn't respond. I pull my jeans on in a hurry and open the door as I'm pulling my shirt over my head. Ryle! The nightstand by our bed is tipped over. I move to the living room and see him sitting on the edge of the couch, his head in one of his hands. He's looking down at something in another hand. In his other hand. What are you doing? He looks up at me and I don't recognize his expression. I'm confused by what's happening. I don't know if he's just bad. I don't know if he just got bad news or God, Eliza. Right, you're scaring me. What's wrong? He holds up my phone and just looks at me like I should know what's happening. When I shake my head in confusion, he holds up a piece of paper. Funny thing, he says, setting my phone on the coffee table in front of me. In front of him. I dropped your phone by accident. Cover pops up. I find this. Oh, God. I dropped your phone by accident. Cover pops off. I found this number hidden in the back of it. Oh, God. Remember, he found the number that Atlas, so the paper where Atlas put his number on, and he slid it in between the phone and the cover of the phone. I no. Oh God. No. No, no. He crumbles the number in his fist. I thought, huh, that's weird. Lily doesn't hide things from me. I thought, huh, that's weird. Lily doesn't hide things from me. He stands up and picks up my phone. So I called it. He tightens his fist. He tightens his fist around the phone. He's lucky. I got his fucking voicemail. He chunks my phone clear across the room and it crashes against the wall, shattering to the floor. So he throws away her phone. He breaks her phone. Idiot. There is a 3-second pause where I think this could go one of two ways. He's going to leave me or he's going to hurt me. He runs a hand through his hair and walks straight for the door. He leaves. Ryle, I yell. Why did I never throw that number away? I open the door and run after him. He's taking the stairs 2 at a time, and I finally reach him when he's at the landing of the second floor. I shove myself in front of him and grab his shirt in my fists. Ryle, please, let me explain. He grabs my wrists and pushes me away from him. Okay, he pushed her again. Be still. I feel his hands on me, gentle, steady. Tears are flowing, and for some reason, they sting. Lily, be still, please. His voice is soothing. My head hurts. Ryle. I try to open my eyes, but the light is too bright. I can feel a sting at the corner of my eye, and I wince. I try to sit up, but I feel his hand press down on my shoulder. You have to be still until I'm finished, Lily. I open my eyes again and look up at the ceiling. It's our bedroom ceiling. Finished what? Finished with what? My mouth hurts when I speak, so I bring my hand up and cover it. You fell down the stairs, he says. You're hurt. My eyes meet his. There's concern in them, but also hurt, anger. He's feeling everything right now, and the only thing I feel is confused. I close my eyes again and try to remember why he's angry, why he's hurt. My phone, Atlas's number, the stairwell. I grabbed his shirt. He pushed me away. You fell down the stairs, but I didn't fall. He pushed me again. That's twice. You pushed me, Ryle. I can feel my whole body start to shake with the sobs. I have no idea how bad I'm hurt, but I don't even care. No physical pain could even compare to what my heart is feeling in this moment. I start to slap at his hands, wanting him away from me. I feel him lift off the bed as I curl up into a ball. I wait for him to try and enthuse it out like he did the last time he hurt me. But it never comes. I hear him walking around our bedroom. I don't know what he's doing. I'm still crying when he kneels down in front of me. You might have a concussion, he says, matter of fact. You have a small cut on your lip. You just band I just bandaged up the cut on your eye. You don't need stitches. His voice is cold. Does it hurt anywhere? Your arms, legs? He sounds just like a doctor, nothing like a husband. You pushed me, I say through tears. It's all I can think or say or see. You fell, he says calmly. About 5 minutes ago, right after I found out what a fucking liar I married. Whoa. He places something on my pillow next to me. If you need anything, I'm sure you can call this number. I look at the crumpled up piece of paper by my head that holds Atlas's phone number. Ryle, I sob. What is happening? I hear the front door slam. My whole world comes crashing down around me. Ryle, I whisper to no one. I cover my face with my hands and I cry harder than I ever cried. I am destroyed. 5 minutes. That's all it takes to completely destroy a person. A few minutes pass. 10, maybe. I can't stop crying. I still haven't moved from the bed. From the bed. I'm scared to look in the mirror. I'm just scared. I hear the front door open and slam shut again. Ryle appears in the doorway and I have no idea if I'm supposed to hate him or be terrified of him or feel bad for him. How can I be feeling all three? He presses his forehead to our bedroom door, and I watch as he hits his head against it once, twice, 3 times. He turns and rushes at me, falling to his knees at the side of the bed. He grabs both of my hands and he squeezes them. Lily, he says, his whole face twisting in pain. Please tell me it's nothing. He brings his hand to the side of my head and I can feel his hands shaking. I can't take this. I can't. He leans forward and presses his lips hard against my forehead, then rests his forehead against mine. Please tell me you aren't seeing him. Please. I'm not even sure I can tell him that, because I don't even want to speak. He stays pressed against me, his hand wrapped tightly in my hair. It hurts so much, Lily. I love you so much. I shake my head, wanting the truth out of me, so he'll see what a huge mistake he just made. I forgot his I forgot his number was even there, I said quietly. The day after the fight in the restaurant, he came to the store. You can ask Eliza. He was only there for 5 minutes. He took my phone from me and he put his number inside of it because he didn't believe I was safe with you. I forgot it was there, Ryle. I've never even looked at it. He breathes out of a shaky breath and begins nodding with relief. You swear, Lily? You swear on our marriage and our lives and on everything that you are, that you haven't spoken to him since that day? He pulls back so he can look he pulls back so he can look me in the eyes. I swear, Ryle, you overreacted before giving me the chance to explain, I say to him. Now get the fuck out of my apartment. Ooh. My words knocked the breath from him. I see it happen. His back meets the wall behind him, and he stares at me silently, in shock. Lily, he whispers, you fell down the stairs. I can't tell if he's trying to convince me or himself. I calmly repeat myself, get out of my apartment. He remains frozen in place. I sit up on the bed. My hand immediately goes to the throbbing in my eye. He pushes himself up off the floor when he takes a step forward. I scoot back in the bed. You hurt, Lily. I'm not leaving you alone. I grab one of my pillows and throw it at him, like it could actually do damage. Get out! I yell. He catches the pillow. I grab the other one and stand up on the bed and start swinging at him as I scream, get out, get out, get out! I toss the pillow on the floor after the front door slams shut. I run to the living room and deadbolt the door. I run back to my bedroom and fall onto my bed. The same bed I share with my husband. The same bed he makes love to me on. The same bed he lays me on when it's time for him to clean up his messes. The same bed he lays me on when it's time for him to clean up his messes. I wanted to reread again. And that's the end of chapter 19. Yeah, it's getting tough here. Chapter 20. I tried salvaging my phone before I fell asleep last night, but it was no use. It was in two completely separate pieces. I set my alarm so I could get up early and stop and get a new one on my way into work today. My face doesn't look as bad as I feared it would. Of course, it's not something I could hide from Eliza, but I'm not even going to try to do that. I part my hair to the side to cover up most of the bandage Ryan had placed over my eye. The only thing visible from last night is the cut on my lip and the high key he gave me on my neck. Fucking irony at its best. I grab my purse and open the front door. I stop short when I see the lump at my feet. It moves. It's several seconds before I realize that lump is actually Ryle. But yes, at the front, I stop short when I see the lump at my feet. It moves. It's several seconds before I realize that lump is actually Ryle. He slept out here. He pulls himself to his feet as soon as he realizes I've opened the door. He's in front of me, pleading eyes, gentle hands on my cheeks, lips on my mouth. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I pull back and scroll my eyes over him. He slept out here. I step out of my apartment and pull my door shut. I calmly walk past him and down the stairs. He follows me the entire way to my car, begging me, to talk to him. I don't. I leave. It's an hour later when I have a new phone in my hands. I'm sitting in my car at the cell phone store when I turn it on. I watch I watch the screen as 17 I watch the screen as 17 messages appear, all from Eliza. I guess it would make sense that Ryle didn't call me all night since he knew what kind of shape my phone was in. I start to open a text message when my phone begins ringing. It's Eliza. Hello? She sighs heavily and then, Lily, what in the hell is going on? Oh my God, you can't do this to me. I'm pregnant. I start my car and set the phone to Bluetooth while I drive toward the store. Eliza is off today. She's only got a few days left before she gets a jump start on her maternity leave. I'm okay, I tell her. Ryle is okay. We got on into a fight. I'm sorry I couldn't call you. He broke my phone. She's quiet for a moment. And then he did. Are you okay? Where are you? I'm fine, heading to work now. Good, I'm almost there myself. I start to protest, but she hangs up before I have the chance. By the time I make it to the store, she's already there. I open the front door, ready to field questions and defend my reasons for kicking her brother out of my apartment. But I stop short when I see the two of them standing at the counter. Ryle is leaning against it, and Liza has her hands on top of his, saying something to him that I can't hear. They both turn to face me when they hear the door close behind me. Ryle, Eliza whispers, what did you do to her? She walks around the counter and pulls me in for a hug. Oh, Lily, she says, running her hand down my back. She pulls back my tears in her eyes, and her reaction confuses me. She obviously knows Riley is responsible, but if that's the case, it seems she would be attacking him, or at least yelling. She turns back to Ryle, and he's looking up at me apologetically, longingly, like he wants to reach out and hug me, but he's scared to death to touch me. He should be. You need to tell her, Eliza says to Ryle. He instantly drops his head in his hands. Tell her, Eliza says, her voice angrier now. She has the right to know, Ryle. She's your wife. If you don't tell her, I will. Ryle's shoulders roll forward and his head is fully pressed against the counter now. Whatever it is, Eliza wants him to tell me as him so agonized he can't even look at me. I clench my stomach, feeling the angst deeper than my soul. Eliza spins toward me and puts her hands on my shoulders. Hear him out, she begs. I'm not asking you to forgive him because I have no idea what happened last night, but just please, as my sister-in-law and my best friend, give my brother a chance to talk to you. Eliza said she'd watch the store for the next hour until another employee comes in for their shift. I was still so upset with Ryle. I didn't want him in the same car with me. He said he'd send for an Uber and meet me at my apartment. My entire drive home, I agonized over what he could possibly need to tell me that Eliza already knows. So many things went through my head. Is he dying? Has he been cheating on me? Did he lose his job? She didn't seem to know the details of what happened between us last night. So I have no idea how this relates to that. Ryan finally walks through my door, through my front door 10 minutes after me. I'm sitting on the couch, nervously picking at my nails. I stand up and start to pace as he slowly walks to the chair and takes a seat. He leans forward, clasping his hands in front of him. Please, sit down, Lily. He says it pleadingly, like he can't take seeing me worry. I return to my seat on the couch, but I scoot to the arm, pull my feet up, and bring my hands to my mouth. Are you dying? His eyes stretched wide, and he immediately shakes his head. No, no, no. It's nothing like that. And what is it? I just want him to spit it out. My hands are starting to shake. He sees how much he's freaking out. So he leans forward and pulls my hands from my face, holding them in his. Part of me doesn't want him to touch me after what he did last night, but a piece of me needs the reassurance from him. The anticipation of what I'm about to find out is making me nauseous. No one is dying. I'm not cheating on you. What I'm about to tell you isn't going to hurt you, okay? It's all in the past, but Eliza thinks you need to know, I so do I. I nod and he releases my hands. He's the one up and pacing now, back and forth behind the coffee table. It's as if he's having to work up the courage to find his words, his own words, and that's making me even more nervous. He sits in the chair again. Lily, do you remember the night we met? I nod. You remember when I walked out into the roof, how angry I was? I nod again. He was kicking the chair. It was before he knew. It was before he knew marine-grade polymer was virtually indestructible. Do you remember my naked truth, which I told you about that night and what caused me to be so angry? I lean my head down and think back to that night and to all the truth he told me. He said marriage repulsed him. He was only into one-night stands. He never wanted to have kids. He was mad about a patient he'd lost that night. I start nodding. The little boy, I said. That's why you were mad, because a little boy died and it upsets you, and it upset you. He blows out a quick breath of relief. Yes, that's why I was mad. He stands up again, and it's like I see his entire soul crumble. He presses his palm against his eyes and fights back tears. So he's trying to do that and to push his tears away. He presses his palms against his eyes and fights back tears. When I told you about what happened to him, do you remember what you said to me? I feel like I'm about to cry, and I don't even know why yet. Yes, I told you I could imagine what something like that will do to that little boy's brother. The one who accidentally shot him. My lips start to tremble. And that's when you said, it'll destroy him. And that's when you said, it'll destroy him for life. That's what it'll do. Oh God, where is he going with this? Rye walks over and drops down to his knees in front of me. Lily, he says, I knew it would destroy him. I knew exactly what that little boy was feeling, because that's what happened to me, to Eliza's and my older brother. I can't hold in the tears. I just start crying, and he wraps his arms tightly around my waist, and lays his head on my lap. I shot him, Lily. My best friend, my big brother. I was only 6 years old. I didn't even know I was holding a real gun. His whole body begins to shake and he grips me even tighter. I press a kiss on into his hair because it feels like he's on the verge of a breakdown. Just like that night on the roof. And while I'm still so angry at him, I also still love him. And it absolutely kills me to find this out about Eliza. We sit quietly for a long time, his head on my lap, his arms around my waist, my lips in his hair. She was only 5 when it happened. Emerson was 7. We were in the garage, so no one heard our screams for a long time, and I just sat there. And he pulls away from my lap and stands up, facing the other direction. After a long stretch of silence, he sits down on the couch and leans forward. I was trying to rise. His face contorts in pain, and he lowers his head, covering it with his hands, shaking it back and forth. I was trying to put everything back inside his head. I thought I could fix him, Lily. Oh gosh, my hand fills up to my mouth. I gasp so loudly. There is no way to hide it. I have to stand up so I can catch a breath. It doesn't help. I still can't breathe. Ryle walks over to me, taking my hands and pulling me to him. We hug each other for a solid minute when he says, I would never tell you this because I wanted to excuse my behavior. He pulls back and looks me firmly in the eyes. You have to believe that. Eliza wanted me to tell you all of this because since that happened, there are things I can't control. I get angry, I black out. I've been in therapy since I was 6 years old, but it's not my excuse. It is my reality. He whips away my tears, cradling my head against his shoulder. When you ran after me last night, I swear I had no intention of hurting you. I was upset and angry, and sometimes when I feel that much emotion, something inside of me just snaps. I don't remember the moment I pushed you, but I know I did. I did. Uh-huh. So he recognizes here that he pushed her. All I was thinking when you were running after me was how I needed to get away from you. I wanted you out of my way. I didn't process that there were stairs around us. I didn't process my strength compared to yours. I fucked up, Lily. I fucked up. He lowers his mouth to my ear. His voice cracks when he says, You're my wife. I'm supposed to be the one who protects you from the monsters. I'm not to be I'm not supposed to be one. I'm not I'm not supposed to be one. He holds me with so much desperation, he begins to shake. I have never in all my life felt so much pain radiating from one human. It breaks me. It rips me apart from the inside out. All my heart wants, all my heart wants to do is wrap tightly around his. Oh my God. But even with everything he just told me, I'm still fighting my own forgiveness. I swore I wouldn't let it happen again. I swore to him and to myself that if he ever hurt me again, I would leave. I pull away from him, unable to look him in the eye. I walked toward my bedroom to try and take a moment to just catch my breath. I closed my bedroom. I closed my bathroom door behind me and gripped the sink, but I can't even stand up. I end up sliding to the floor in a heap of tears. This isn't how this was supposed to be. My whole life, I knew exactly what I'd do if a man ever treated me the way my father treated my mother. It was simple. I would leave and it would never happen again. But I didn't leave. And now here I am with bruises and cuts on my body at the hands of a man who is supposed to love me, at the hands of my own husband. And still, I'm trying to justify what happened. It was an accident. He thought I was cheating on him. He was hurt and angry, and I got in his way. I bring my hands to my face and I sob because I feel more pain for that man out there knowing what he went through as a child than I feel for myself. That doesn't make me feel selfless or strong. It makes me feel pathetic and weak. I'm supposed to hate him. I'm supposed to be the woman my mother was never strong enough to be. But if I'm emulating my mother's behavior, then that would mean Ryle is emulating my father's behavior. But he isn't. I have to stop comparing us to them. Where we are our own individuals in an entirely different situation. My father never had an excuse for his anger, nor was he immediately apologetic. The way he treated my mother was much worse than what's happened between Ryle and me. Ryle just opened to me in a way that he's probably never opened to anyone. He's struggling to be a better person for me. Yes, he screwed up last night, but he's here. He's trying to make me understand his past and why he reacted the way he did. Humans aren't perfect, and I can't let the only example I've ever witnessed marriage weigh in on my own marriage. I whip my eyes and pull myself up. When I look in the mirror, I don't see my mother. I just see me. I see a girl who loves her husband and wants more than anything to be able to help him. I know Ryle. I know Ryle and I are strong enough to move past this. Our love is strong enough to get us through this. I walk out of the bathroom and back into the living room. Ryle stands up and faces me. His face full of fear. He's scared. He's scared I'm not going to forgive him, and I'm not sure that I do forgive him. But an act doesn't have to be forgiven in order to learn from it. I walk over to him and grab both of his hands in mine. I speak to him with nothing but naked truth. Remember what you said to me on the roof that night. You said, "There is no such thing as bad people. We are all just people who sometimes do bad things." He nods and squeezes my hand. You aren't a bad person, Ryle. I know that. You can still protect me when you're upset. Just walk away, and I'll walk away. We'll leave the situation until you're calm enough to talk about it. Okay? You're not a monster, Ryle. You're only human. And as humans, we can't expect to shoulder all of our pain. Sometimes we have to share it with the people who love us, so we don't come crashing down from the weight of it all. But I can't help you unless I know you need it. Ask me for help. We'll get through this. I know we can. He exhales what feels like every breath he's been holding in since last night. He wraps his arms tightly around me and buries his face in my hair. "Help me, Lily," he whispers. "I need you to help me." It holds me against him. And I know deep in my heart that I'm not, and that I'm doing the right thing. There is so much more good in him than bad, and I'll do whatever I can to convince him of that until he can see it too. Well, 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 this is the end of chapter 20. And gosh, it's tricky. So, as you can see, it's never black and white uh, in relationships. And from the outside, sometimes it seems simple to say, oh, but why didn't leave that person? But the thing is, as we can see, violence doesn't appear um, like that in all of a sudden. It just integrates itself gradually into the relationship. And of course, all violent people hide a, a deep pain from childhood, and he's trying to work on that. But being in a relationship with Lily is not what. Unfortunately, Lily thinks that she is going to be the healer of Ryle, because I guess this is also a trait, a female trait um, in women, because we care about people. It's something that all women have in common, is that we often want to heal people, we want to save people in a way. Um, the thing is, she's not a psychiatrist, she's not a psychologist, she's not a therapist or a doctor. Um, I think sometimes we are mistaking the role of husband and wives um, when people say, "Oh, but you are my medicine. You are my I've been talking with people, and even in my family, I had an uncle who died of a very rare illness, and I was listening to my aunt. She was saying, "Oh, but." When he should have seen a doctor or a therapist. He never went to therapy because of his childhood, a terrible death as well, children's death as well, happened, and he never healed from this. He kept it buried inside him. And she was saying, "Oh, but when they would discuss about it, he would say to her, 'Oh, but you are my therapist. You are my doctor.'" But on the other hand, um, he wasn't violent, but he could be hurtful, and he could talk badly in a bad way to her, and be mean to her sometimes, uh, and that's the because this pain that he had was always there, and it never got healed. So, and he eventually died a couple years ago. But it's terrible. It's terrible that some people, and men in particular, are not able to share their feelings, or because this is not what men should do, or it's not in their culture, or in yeah. Um, Talking about feelings is difficult. Um, I would say for men, especially how they are raised, and the masculinity um, around around men, and the fact that they don't open up like women do, and that's terrible because this is um, the the devil. This is the evil of our society. The fact that um, some people are not able to heal from their traumas. So yeah, it's and this is a dangerous path for women to take when you care deeply about someone and you want to help, uh, and you think you're enough when you're not, and you're not equipped to deal with this kind of trauma. Yeah. So I let you think, reflect on this chapter, and on Lily's conflicted thoughts. Um, and I hope you'll be able to join the book club and join the conversation workshop to share your thoughts on that topic. And yeah, and reflect on it. So I hope you enjoyed this live reading. Thank you again for attending the live and also watching this video on YouTube. Thank you so much for liking this video as well, and sharing the sharing your comments about what you think about the book club. Don't forget to, if you like this video, don't hesitate to like the video, to follow the channel, and share it so that more people can benefit from these wonderful books and these live readings, and elevate themselves, elevate their minds, and improve their English as well. I really hope that you'll be able to join our live discussion this Saturday. In the meantime, I will see you tomorrow for a new live read along. We will meet live again, of course, as always, on Instagram and on Zoom. Subscribe. You just need to subscribe to the newsletter to join the Zoom live, the live reading on Zoom. It will be at 6:30 tomorrow, and we will read chapters 21 and 22. Thank you. Bye.